Hello viewers, welcome to this week's episode of these conversations. Today we are going to talk about one of the trending topics in Zimbabwe. Hello viewers, welcome to this week's episode of the conversations. Today we are going to be talking about one of the trending issues in Zimbabwe, about drug abuse. Drugs have been used all over the world, and we've seen that our communities and our youths are having a challenge of abusing drugs. For us to unravel this very important topic, we are joined today by Mr. Victor Go, who is going to help us understand the issues around the drugs, the types of drugs that are being used by our children, by our grandmothers, our mothers, our sisters, and our brothers. Victor, welcome to this show.
Thank you for having me, Lloyd.
Yeah. So, probably my first question is to understand what do we mean when you say substance use?
Okay, thank you very much. So, I would want to define it probably as like what we have just said, the trending issue. I would want to consider it the hot topic in the mental health fraternity. So you may find that substance use, some they use it in different ways. They phrase it in different terms. Some they call it substance abuse. Some they want to call it substance use. Some they want to call it drug abuse. But I would want to define substance use probably as the mother of everything else. You may find that drug abuse, when you're talking about drug abuse, you are talking about substance use. What am I trying to say? You may find that substance probably is just in general. Everything else we can consider it a substance. But then when we are now talking about drug abuse, we are now going more specific in terms of defining substance use. So you may find that if someone is abusing drugs, that person is also abusing substances. Yes. So basically what we are saying is substance use is the use of different substances with an intention probably to intoxicate yourself, or with an intention, or with a negative intention probably to generalize it. I don't know if it's clear.
Yeah, it's quite clear.
Yeah.
So, Victor, sokona kwako atingati the main victims of drug abuse or substance use, who are the main victims of drug abuse?
We can't really specify a population to say that this is the most affected population. In this era, you may find that almost everyone else is now being affected by this phenomena. But from your phrasing, probably would want to underline the phrase main victims. Who are the main victims? Yes. So you may find that if I want to try and pick and identify who are the main victims, we would want to focus more on the youths. I think we would want to assume or believe that they are the main victims. Why? Because when you're looking at them, we're looking at a future that has been affected by this pandemic. So if we're talking about the main victims, probably would want to say the youth are the main victims. But however, you may find that everyone else, be it the elderly, they're using these drugs, they're using these substances. Even adolescents, they're using these substances. But however, we would want to say the youth are the main affected. Probably if you had to check the trends, if you had to check the statistics, you may find that recently there is an organization which publicized that 40% of the youths, if not all, 40% of the youths, they've used a certain substance. They've at some point abused a drug. So you may find that, and the prediction is that figure is going to continue rising up. Yeah.
So as you have rightly pointed out, probably that the largest demographic which is being affected, or the main victims, are the youths. How then do we notice that this person is using substance? For instance, probably in my family, how do I know that my sister or my brother or my aunt or my cousin is using substance?
Thank you for raising that question, Lloyd. It's a very important question. You may find that if we are talking about the symptoms, if we want to look for the signs, or if we want to look for the red flags, I think it's very important. If you look at it from the family level, probably I appreciate the institution or the unit that you have singled out at family level. Yeah. Why? Because we are saying that's the primary institution which we can then try and identify and see what's happening to, be it our children, be it our kids, be it our relatives or whatever, we can notice that at family level. So you may find that when you are looking at the symptoms, I would want to probably start by focusing more on early behavioral symptoms or early symptoms of substance use. So if we're looking at those early symptoms, I would want to talk about those quite very general things that you might visibly notice from your child or from your relatives or from someone who you are staying with. Just imagine you have your kid or you have your son who is going to school, and you start to notice a depreciation in terms of my high school grades or school grades. You used to see him coming back with almost 7 subjects. But now, the first term, you notice your child only 5 subjects. The next term, only 3 subjects. I'm not saying it becomes definite with munayarusha and some drugs. No. But truth is one of those red flags that will then start to wonder, what's happening to this person? You understand? So there are also other symptoms like during dinner, pamwe munosidya as a family makagara, but you start to notice someone is now opting to exclude himself from, yes, pamwe akuda kundodyira muspare bedroom, pamwe akuda kundodyira panze, pamwe normal times amunoti mimi tinodya sapa pamwe pana 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock zinokwana munenge musiri mese. You understand? It's one of those behavioral symptoms that we then want to tick and say something might be wrong with this child. You understand? You might have those family gatherings. You normally go out on weekends. Pamwe Saturdays there's a family munenda out for a family social outing and or something of that sort. But then you start to notice your child pamwe akutanga no, Didi, I don't want to go with you. No, I have a meeting with my friends outing, so I can't join you. You understand? So these are some of the things that we then need to focus and look at. What are the changes in terms of my behavioral symptoms, those behavioral changes that we might notice from your child or from our kids? So there is quite a number of things that we want to. For example, you may find with pamwe mwana akutanga kukumbira mari, didn't ndipewo $1, baby didn't ndipewo $3. What if you had to ask that child, you might not get a convincing explanation. Yes, we are not saying it becomes definitive. Pamwada ndotenga pencil, pamwada ndotenga pen, pamwada ndotenga my book and things like that. But it's true to, if we start noticing those things, we then need to focus more in trying to monitor the behavior of our child or of our kid or of our youth, whoever that we might be suspecting this child might be taking using drugs or taking my substances. Yeah, so you might also notice that even muri mumba munongonatangwa share zvimwe zvinhu, because normally this pandemic or this problem of substance use is normally associated with stealing, I must say. And zvinhu zviri general, pamwe you used to live pamwe $2 $3 yemadomasi mumba, kuti mama muzosara muchitenga madomasi kana kuti you have assigned your daughter or your son kuti hauzonotenga madomasi, but pauri kudzoka madomasi hamuna, $2 hamuna, $3 hamuna. You understand? So those are some of the things that we then need to try and always monitor in terms of my behavioral changes kuvana vedu or to our youth or to whoever we might be suspecting is using drugs. So there is quite a number of behavioral symptoms that you need to look at, especially in terms of change. We want to see what have changed from this child. Otherwise, trying to list all of them is impossible. There's quite a number of things that we might do, but basically look for those changes, those behavioral changes. What has changed on this child?
So as a parent or a guardian or a brother or a sister who's probably staying with someone, a relative in the family, yes, when I notice all these red flags that you've highlighted, that probably a child is withdrawing from the dinner, is stealing, missing money, is continuously asking for money, what steps or which steps can I then take if I notice that? So that I would be able to say, probably my son or my daughter is taking drugs.
Okay, yeah, I get your question, Lloyd. So you may find after noticing those behavioral changes or those variations in terms of the normal behavior that you used to see from your child, I would want to believe that the most important thing for now, we need to empower the parents. We need to empower the guardians. We need to empower the primary institutions in terms of acting upon that change or that variation in terms of the changes in behavior yatingeta notice pamwana. Of course, in general, you might think, where can I find a counselor, or where can I find a psychologist, where can I find a psychiatrist, or things like that. But personally, I feel it becomes secondary. The first step, we need to have solutions at home. If you have solutions at home, you may find that those solutions, they become somehow favorable. They are quite friendly. We need to stop the victimization of the victims of substance or drug abuse. Rather, we need to have that holistic approach to it, whereby we really understand what is a pandemic, just like HIV and AIDS, just like Ebola in some other countries, just like everything else, those public health issues that we normally hear. That's how we are not supposed to treat that issue of drug abuse or substance abuse. You understand? So in general, what I might say is the first step as parents, we need to have solutions after noticing those behavioral changes, before we can think of anything else. But how can we empower the parents? We need the information to get to them. They need to get information in terms of the first thing, like what I've said before, understanding the behavioral symptoms, the behavioral changes of substance use. So generally, after noticing that, you as a parent, talk to a child. Talk to the child. Is there something wrong? Is there something that we can do? Is there something that you are not getting? Try to probe for a conversation with your child, such that you know, if there is anything wrong, or if there is something missing, or if there is something which is affecting him. Because it comes back to the question of what is causing those changes. What is triggering that child from using substances? Because in psychology, we don't believe that a person can just start from nowhere using substances. We look for the underlying factors. We look for the reasons behind. Yeah, yes, perfect. So you as a parent or as guardians, they need to be empowered with information of knowing how to have a conversation when they notice that from their children. But however, when it fails, I would not really think or believe it's necessary or it's important for us to quickly rush to say, where is the police? No, it might not be the rightful solution, but we need to change the behavior of the child, probably at family level.
Thank you so much, Victor, for highlighting all those issues. I'm sure we're going to continue next week with discussing issues around substance abuse. Today we have only tried to define what is substance abuse, the major victims of substance abuse, and the major red flags that one can identify. Viewers, make a date with us next week as we continue with this issue of substance and drug abuse.